All right, so today we're going over how can I plot coordinates with integers. And what was an integer again?
Positive and negative whole numbers.
Okay, so positive and negative whole numbers. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to learn what a coordinate is, and we're going to be plotting things on these two number lines. So on my number line, if I'm going up, is that positive or is that negative?
Positive.
So if I'm going down, it's what?
Negative.
If I go left,
Negative.
and if I go right,
Positive.
exactly. Okay, so the two number lines that you see now make up of a coordinate plane. Before, we were working on both of these number lines separately. Now they're going to get combined together. So when they're combined together, they're called the axes. So the axis, A-X-E-S, it's plural, meaning it's multiple lines. When I'm just talking about one of those lines, it's A-X-I-S. But we'll get there in just a second, okay? So when we are dealing with coordinate planes, we have something called quadrants. Does anybody know what that was? Have you heard of a quadrant before? Well, what do you think it is? Any ideas?
Like it's a group of something.
A group, that's a really good one. Any other guesses that we can? Yeah. Multiple numbers. This table, anything that you think a quadrant could be? Yes.
A section.
A section, that's going to be your most thing, I would say a section. Good. So on this graph, each one of these squares that you see, these really big squares, these are going to be called quadrants. That's how you know which section in the graph that your coordinate is going to go. So for example, this first one, right here on the top right, this is called quadrant 1. And you're going to write this down as well. This is quadrant 1. Or you can put Q1 as well. So it's gonna go in a counterclockwise motion. So remember, counterclockwise is going like this. It's gonna go around and around like a circle. So if it's gonna go in a counterclockwise and it's going like this, what is this one?
Quadrant 2.
Exactly, this will be quadrant 2. So let's label that Q2, section 2, Q2, quadrant 2. Okay, so what's the next one?
Quadrant 3.
Quadrant 3, good. And the last one?
Quadrant 4.
Quadrant 4, good. So this is how it's going to go. And you'll see once you get more into 8th grade math why these quadrants are important. So it goes in a counterclockwise direction. All right, when your two number lines, when they intersect, where do they intersect? What does that mean, to intersect? Who can tell me? Table 3, intersect. Yes, when they connect into each other. So, where do you see them connecting? Yes.
In the very, very middle.
In the very, very middle. This is going to be called your origin. So I want you to write in the middle, over here, your origin. This is when both of your zeros connect. So on the 0 for your vertical number line is right here, and the 0 for your horizontal number line is right here as well. So the way that we write that to show there's two zeros is 0, 0. That means your x, which is this line right here, is a 0, and your y, which is this line right here, is a 0. So the coordinate would be 0, 0. Okay, so the point of intersection, that's what we were just talking about, we're going to say that is the origin. So on this line right here, so this is the origin. And the coordinates you write up here is 0, 0. Okay, and when I said that there are 4 sections and 4 squares, what did I say this was called? What were the 4 squares called? Your 4 sections. Quadrants. Good. So it says the 2 axes divide the 4 quadrants. That's what you're going to write over here. Is a quadrant. right, and I'll know you're ready for the next section when your pencil is down. All right, so let's talk about what exactly is a coordinate, because you keep hearing me use this word. What is a coordinate? Well, remember we talked about two lines. I mentioned that this one is your x. You can write this down as well. This line going this way is your x. Let me use a different color so you can see your y. This line going up and down, that is your y. Yes. Exactly. Your y-axis and your x-axis. I'm glad we know that because we are getting there right now. So, whenever you see an x, that means you are going side to side. So, where it says x and y, that means go side to side. I want you to draw like a little arrow going side to side like this, a little number line going side to side. So, if an x means to go side to side, what does a y mean? Anyone can tell me? Up and down. Good, thank you. Up and down. So let's draw an up and down sign over here so you remember that if you see y, that means you are going to go up and down. Can you get that for me? Okay, so in a group of coordinates, when it is numbers, what up? 30? Okay, just come join us. We are on the note section right here. The ones you just quoted. All right, so in a group of numbers, you see how these have numbers. These are called your coordinates. You have a 4, 3. Which one would be your x? Based off of looking at this, what do you think? Which one would be x and which one would be y? Let's see. Table 4. Which one do you think will be your x and which one will be your y? What do you think? Yeah, so according to this, your first one would be your x and your second one would be your y. Let's write that down so we remember. So on top of x, we're going to put, this is your first number. And on top of y, we're going to write what? Your second number, right? Your second. All right, so let's practice. Let's know some of these steps, okay, of how we are going to do this. So if we look at this first section where it says graph the points. Uh-oh, what's going on? Sorry. But if we're looking at the section that says graph the points, the first coordinate is 4, 3. You guys told me that the first number would be your x and the second number would be the y. So table 5, looking at letter A, which number will be my x?
4.
4, thank you. And table 1, which number would be my y? 3. Okay, perfect. Now let's start graphing this, okay? So that 4, is it going to be a positive or is it a negative 4? Positive. So we said up here on our examples that for x's, we go side to side, right? So let's do the same thing here. Let's label this line right here. Let's label it x. So we remember this is going to be our x. And I'm going to label this line what?
Y.
Perfect. Label that y. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the official steps of how we are going to graph. So first, you told me that our 4 is our x. So are we going to go left or are we going right? We're going left on this line. What about when we talked about right here when we separated the number lines? You told me going left was what? Positive or negative? Yes. Negative. So if going left is the negative, which way should we go?
Right.
We should be going right, right? But you're not going to plot a dot there. You're just going to find where that is. So for example, we start in the middle. We're going to start at your 0. We said that this middle part was called the what? The origin, right? And what does the origin mean?
It's not
It's the intersection.
It's a what?
intersection.
The intersection point. And what was the coordinate for that?
0, 0.
0, 0, right? So this is your 0, 0. This is where you're gonna start. So if I'm counting 4, a positive 4, you told me I'm going which way?
Right.
Right. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. But in graphing, you're not gonna put a point there because we're not done, right?
Going up.
What else do we need to do?
Go up.
Go up, right? How many times gonna go up?
3.
3. So let's go 1, 2, 3, and this is where you're gonna plot that dot. So again, we counted from 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I went up 1, 2, and 3, and this is where that dot is gonna go.
Just gotta write.
Then now, you have to label your dot. Which dot was this?
A.
A. This needs to be labeled as dot A. Okay. Oh my God, the technology problems today. That's okay, we'll fix it right now. Anyway, I'll fix this later, we'll just do it this way. So on your next one, it says it's a -2 and a 5. So on the -2, am I gonna go left or am I gonna go right? Left. Why am I going left?
That's a
Table
negative.
2. Why am I going left? Yeah, it's going to the negative. So you're gonna go on this line, you're going to your negatives, right? So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3. How many? 2, right? So you're going left, 2, and how many times are you gonna go up? 5. So go ahead and do that now, and I'll walk around and see, and I'm just gonna end up doing it on the board. So give me 1 second.
Got it.
Okay, let's see, go ahead and start the next one, okay? Once I checked it, go ahead and start the next one, the next 2 actually, see if you can try them on your own. Good, this table's fine, go ahead and try the next one. Chris, which part? Okay, B, so then, okay, so we said the first number, is that gonna be your X or your Y? Based on what they your X, right? So you said this line going side to side is your X, right? Okay, so how many times are you gonna go over on the X? Is it a positive or a negative? Okay, so you're gonna go to your left 2 times, right? And then how many times are you gonna go up? So go ahead and try that now. So allow me here. You guys make sure you go ahead and try C and D on your own, and we'll come back and check it in just a second. Yes, those are fine. So what you're gonna do is that you're gonna go to the left and go down instead. Go ahead, Mr. Yes. Good. Did you see? So we're just, you're gonna go to the left and down. We're gonna go. Good. Okay, so since I'm having technology problems, I'm just gonna do it in different colors up here. So the next one said, B said your coordinate was a -2, 5, right? So this is my new coordinates, table 4, this question will go to you. Which one's my X?
The first number.
Your first number, right? So this -2, perfect. Table 3, what's my Y? The 5, right? Perfect. Okay, and then what? What's my next step? What am I starting off with? Let's see, which table? Let's see, table 2. What's my next step? And right now, everybody should be looking forward. When we're doing it together, everyone should be looking forward. I'll let you know when it's time to go back and do your own thing. So Natalie, you two just look forward for right now. I'm paying attention. What's my next step? What do I do? Now that I labeled this my X, and I labeled it as my Y. Okay, so what am I starting off with? My -2 or my 5? My -2, right? So, who can tell me, table 1, which one of you can tell me, for this -2, am I gonna go left or am I going right? I'm gonna go left, right? So we're gonna count, can everyone see this? Okay, you're gonna count to the left, 1, 2. Am I gonna put my dot there? No, right? How many times do I have to go up? Anyone can tell me. 5. Okay, let's count. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my next dot. Now I'm gonna label it as what? What was this?
B.
So this is gonna be your dot B, okay? Okay, C was the one that I wanted you to try, and many of you got it on your own. Some of you, we kind of mix a couple things up, because what's different about C?
They're both negative.
They're both negative numbers, right? Okay, and that is perfectly fine that they're both negative. So let's write that new coordinate over here. See, it was negative what?
-1, -3.
Thank you. -1, comma, -3. And we're gonna label this as which one? C. Okay, so this is C. Perfect. So, we're gonna start off with table 1 on this one. What is my first step? Tell me which one is my Y? My Y?
-3.
-3, right? Your Y is gonna be your second one, okay? So this is going to be your Y. Okay, and table 5, what's my X?
-1.
-1, thank you. Table 3, what am I gonna start off with? The -1, right? So what's my first step? If it's a -1 going on my X, is my X going side to side, horizontal, or is it going up and down vertical? This is for you. Is X going side to side, or is X going up and down? Side to side, right? So it's going horizontal. So this -1, and this could be for table 2, my -1 is gonna end up over here or over here? To the left, right? Why is it gonna end up on the left? Because it's a negative number, correct? Okay, so this is a -1. Am I going to plot a dot here?
No.
No,
You're not done.
I'm not done, right? So table 2, this one will go back to you. What's my next step? Do I have a -3? If the -3s are going up or is that going down? We're going down. So instead of going up like how we did for B, we're now gonna go down on this -1. So -1, so 1, 2, and 3. This is where your C dot should be. And I'm gonna label it as dot what?
C.
Dot C. Okay, perfect. All right, and we will try this last one together. We're going to do D, and D says,
5.
what does it say?
+5, comma, -2.
5, -2. Okay, table 3, let's start you off with this one. Which one's my Y? My Y?
No, -2.
-2, right? So I'm not always gonna ask you in order, because I need you to be able to identify which one X and which one's Y, because sometimes it's not gonna be in order, you're gonna change it. So which one was my Y?
-2.
-2, thank you. And so table 2, that means my X is what? 5. Okay, perfect. Okay, table 4, what is my first step with this? Let's try someone else besides your SC administrator. Let's give the other 3 a chance, please. I'm sorry, type Moy and Estrella. The other 3, Isaac, the rest of your Trenton, this one's gonna be for you. What's my first step? Am I gonna start working with my X or my Y first? I'm gonna start working with my Y first? Oh, okay, the X. And which one is my X? 5. Okay, so if my X is my 5, am I going left or right? Going to the right. Okay, thank you. So I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is back to table 4. Table 4, am I gonna put a dot here?
No.
No, I'm not done, right?
No.
Okay, table 1, let's go back to you. What's my next step? If I'm not putting a dot here, what do I do next? How did you know I was gonna go down to? Anyone can tell me. Table, anyone over here?
-2.
Okay, it's a -2. So it's a negative, we go down. So we go to the right 5, that's a positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. and I'm gonna go down
Two.
to 2, right? 1, 2, and this is where my dot is going to go, right here. This is 5, -2. So, what am I gonna label it?
These.
D, right? And D is gonna be my most important part. So you're gonna label that as D, okay? So make sure you go ahead and label that. So I want you to try the next one. It says identify the points. I want you to see if you're able to identify where those points are. This time you're gonna write the coordinates. You're gonna start it without me while I get this set back up, and we'll come back together in just a second. Yes. That's fine. We're gonna be coming back together in just a second, okay? So right now, we're just trying the one that says B, identify the points. Yeah, just B for right now. Okay, then check your answers. If you think you can try all of them, do all of those, and just check your answers when you do it up here. That's fine. All right, so go ahead and put your pencils down for now. Pencils down. Thank you. And we should all be looking up here at this point, just to make sure we're all on the same page and we'll have an opportunity to go back to it. So if I'm starting off looking at this B, what were the steps to graphing? Were we starting with our X first or our Y first? You guys can all tell me. We're starting with our X first, right? So B on the X-axis, the one that's going side to side, is this going to be a negative number or a positive? Okay, so let's count until we get there. So starting at your origin, which is 0, 0, this is -1, -2, and -3, right? Okay, so your first number you're gonna write is what? -3, and that's gonna be your X or your Y? Your X, right? Okay, how many times did they go up? 1, right? There you go. Is that a positive one or is that a negative one? How did you know it was gonna be positive? Perfect. There you go. So it's -3, 1. I want you to label which one was your X and which one was your Y. Which one's your X?
-3.
Perfect. Your X and your Y. Okay? All right, let's do L one more time together, and I'll let you kind of do it on your own. So for L, table 1, we'll start with you. For your L, do I start off with my X or my Y? I'm gonna start off with my X, right? Okay. So, if I'm starting off with my X and we're looking at the L now, am I gonna go left or am I gonna go right from the origin? You're gonna go right. So table 3, if I'm starting at 0, 0 here, and they told me we're gonna go right, and they knew we were gonna go right because it's a positive number, how many times am I gonna count?
4.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, right? So is this 3, is that gonna be my X or my Y? My X, so we'll put a positive 3 here. Table 5, how am I gonna get up to that coordinate? So now we said 1, 2, 3, what am I gonna do next?
You count 3 times.
Count 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and if we're going up, is that positive or negative? Positive. Okay, perfect. There you go. So for now, if you haven't started to do so already, do U and E. Yeah, where they intersect, your origins. So the origins where they intersect, and it's gonna be 0, 0. So starting there, if I'm going to the left one, it's gonna positive or negative. Okay, so your first one will be negative 1. And then you have to go down, is that positive or negative? Okay, so you go down, this will be negative 1. So it'll be negative 1. Good. Go ahead and try that. Go ahead. Is this a negative 5? What is this? 0 is here, and we'll go 1 down. What is that? Negative, right? So your x is negative 1, and now you're gonna go down. 1, right? So it should be negative 1. I think you just got confused with which one was x. So let's erase this span. This is negative 1. Well, that's something that's negative 1. You know, I have pencils, right? Negative pencils. Isn't that good? No, it's just Alright. And then same thing, you're gonna fix this here. For this one. Okay, so you can do right. The positive or negative. Positive to your first x will be 1. Yes, sir. Ms. Barton? Go ask her what time you go. All right, so we're gonna do this one together, just go over it. So, here's my next step, and I want everybody to look back up here. Right now, your pencils are gonna be down. All right, so everyone should be looking up here, thank you. So, for my U, table 2, what's my first thing that I'm gonna start off with? It's a U. So, am I gonna start off with my X or my Y, table 2? So if I'm starting off with my X, what am I gonna do first? Am I gonna go side to side or up and down? Okay, so we're gonna go horizontal, right? So I go over how many times? And it's gonna be positive or negative? And how did you know it's gonna be negative? Okay, left, thank you. Table 3, what's my next step? So they've done the X part, they said we go to the left. What's my next step, table 3? We're gonna go down from here, right? By how many?
1.
And if we're going down, is that positive or negative?
Negative.
Thank you, so that will be your answers, good. Table 4, this next one will be for you. What is my next step?
You go to the right 3 times.
Okay, so we're starting off with our X, and he said we're gonna go to the right 3 times. 1, 2, 3, that is correct. And if I'm going to the right, table 4, if I'm going to the right, is that positive or negative? This will be a positive 3. All right, and then table 5, what's my next step?
You come 3 times down.
Okay, so we're going 3 down from here. 1, 2, 3. And if I'm going down, if everyone can tell me if I'm going down, is that positive or negative?
Negative.
Okay, so it'll be a negative 3. Okay. All right. So you can go ahead and check your answers and make sure they match up with the ones up there. You can do your stuff. All right. So I went on a scale of 5. So 5 being I truly wait 1 second. 5 being I truly understand. 4 most of the time getting it. 3 kind of not yet. I'll let you know. You're gonna do it at your chest. 2 meaning sometimes, and 1 means I don't understand at all. Okay, show me. Thank you. Okay, and we're gonna have some more practice, okay? So hopefully we can turn all those 4s into 5s. All right, here's what we're doing next. So you're gonna be given a worksheet and you're gonna be able to work together with your group. That is perfectly fine for you talking. However, each person is doing it individually and you can kind of check your answers with your group. So what type of voice level do we think that's gonna be?
1.
A 1. That's gonna be a voice level 1. There's no reason to be laughing or giggling. Any conversation that I'm hearing needs to be about math. And I'll be walking around checking on your groups to make sure. When you are done with this worksheet, you will be doing your extra math. You don't have to say, Mr. Ross, I'm done. I don't even need to know that. You're gonna grab your next set, which is your extra math. After that, if you didn't finish your vocab, you will do that, okay? Questions about what we're doing? All right, so make sure each person has a,
This guy went to the girls' bathroom over there.
somebody else.
Yeah, his name is Janet. I got his name.
Okay.
He looked blue.
All right, so let me go ahead and pass out that worksheet. So it is going to be the same thing. The first part of this worksheet, 1 second, I'll wait for you. Everyone should be looking at me. So you're following me around the room. Thank you. So the first part of the worksheet, numbers 1 and 2, you're graphing all of the points. The second one is what we were just doing, is identifying where the points are, writing the actual coordinates. Once you get to 5, 6, and 7, it's telling you about the quadrants. So again, if we remember, which quadrant is the L at? Which quadrant is that in? So we're looking back up here. Which quadrant? This is a 1, right? And what is a B in? 2. And this one?
3.
And this one? Perfect. So all you're doing is telling us which one of these quadrants. Questions about anything that we're doing now? Okay, so remember your voice level is 0, your computer login. Voice level 0, not 0, 1, sorry. And make sure we are staying on task. And what are you gonna do when you're done with this worksheet?
Extra math.
You're gonna do your extra math. What are you gonna do when you're done with extra math? Perfect.
What's our vocab?
And I'll give that to you since you weren't here.
Is that it?
No. So once you get it, first thing, make sure you put your name on it. We'll go ahead and get started. And I'll be walking around and helping with time. We'll be doing the egg. your dots, okay? Label your coordinates. Yes, sir. You're gonna go over, is your -6, is that gonna be your X or your Y? That's your X, right? Okay, so if that's gonna be your X, then what are you gonna go, left or right? If it's a negative number, left, right? Okay, so go ahead and go to -6 on your X axis. This is Y, right? Okay, am I gonna put it out there or am I not done yet? So, what's your next number? So am I gonna go up or am I gonna go down? So go ahead and go up to positive 8. So this is where you start. So 2 or all. So go ahead and watch your dot. You're gonna label it. Let's try the next one while I'm still here. So, here's your J. Let's show J. So, is my Y, is that my X or my Y? X. Okay, so I'm gonna go left or right? And how did you know you were gonna go right? It's a positive sign. Okay, so go ahead and go right, Y. So, we'll start off going right, Y, which is right here, right? Okay. So how many times are you gonna go up? 10 times, because your 10's your 1. So you can follow this all the way up to your 10, and your dot should be here. And then we'll add a check. Perfect. And if you need me again, just tell me. How's it going, Alex?
It's good, so far we're not. I'm using these ones so you can see.
Okay, so let's start off with your J. Your J says 5, 10. So which one is gonna be my X value?
Like, which plus the mix?
No, where is my X, meaning your X going here horizontal? Okay, so is my 5 or my 10 my X?
Your 5.
My 5 is my X, so am I gonna go left or right? So remember when we did this with our number lines, right? Our original number lines?
Yeah.
We go left, the sense was negative, and going to the right was a positive, right? So if it's a positive 5, and it's only X value, am I gonna go left or am I gonna go right? Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the right, how many times? 5 times, okay, go ahead and go. So this is, so we're starting here, we're not through the boxes yet, we're just starting on this line, so you're gonna go to the right 5. So right here, right? And we're gonna put it down here, and we're not done yet. What else do I have to do? We have to do the 10 for our regular Y. So now, Y means, does that mean to go up and down, or side to side? Okay, so you're gonna go up or down 10? And how did you know you were gonna go up? Because it's a what? It's a positive number, right? So you're gonna go on your 5, or you're gonna go all the way up to 10. And that's where you're gonna put your dot. And you're gonna label it what? Okay, let's go ahead and try the next one. Let's try I. So I, which one's gonna be your X? The 1. So that's gonna be my X. That means you're going side to side, right? Am I gonna go left or right? Okay, how many times gonna go right? Okay, so let's find that what your X value is. So starting at your 0. So start right there in the middle. You say you're going right for positive, right? Okay, so you're going right here. This one. Okay, this is your right. Okay, so am I done or have something else? What else do I have to do? Okay, so go up 9 times. And how did you know you're gonna go up? It's a positive number, right? And what are you gonna label? And I'll come back and check it in just a second. Yes, sir. The process is right, so noticing that some of the numbers, we're kind of missing them by like one. So like, for example, on this one, you wrote that -1 goes here, but technically when you plotted it, it went to -2, right? So you need to go up one. Okay, so let's go ahead and just fix that so it's a little bit more clear. Perfect. Okay, then let's see for your A, Let's do. These are all right. Good job. Go ahead and do the next one. Yes, ma'am. You're doing the coordinates how we did on that last thing we did. They all look right there, like this one and one of these ones. Just make sure it's directly on the line. Okay. So right now, by being one off, technically, you can mess up the rest of it. So just double check that. But the rest of them look fine. Yes.
Isn't it the, multiplication chart, right?
Yeah, it really is. How can I help? Yes. So this is gonna be, so this is going to be. So this one's the same thing we did for number 3. And this is the one about the quadrants, right? So you remember the quadrants are right here in your notes? Which quadrants are they in? Okay. Yes, this was. Okay, so this one, what am I gonna start off with? Your 0 or your 9? Okay, so am I gonna go on the x-axis or what? Okay, am I gonna go right or left? Okay, and how did you know you're gonna go right? Because it's the bottom, okay. So go ahead and go all the way up to 9. And if it's 0 on your y, does that mean am I gonna move or no? So that's where your 9 goes. Make sure, good job. Yes, sir. Yes, give me 1 second. 10, 2, and this one you're doing the exact same thing. Perfect. So, these ones you're doing the exact same thing you just did. These ones are moving the quadrants. Please ask me which quadrant. So, either we will see the quadrant, so you can ask me which quadrant. That's all. So remember, this is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2. Just ask me when you plot that point, you can use this graph to plot it. Or when you, which quadrant. Does that make more sense? Okay, perfect. Yes. Okay, so because this is here, it'll be right there, right? So it's asking which axis or which line would it be on. Yes, sir.
What color is this one? This is, one, on the right,
Mhm.
then it's on the line.
Okay, guys, and let me have everyone's attention so that you get the same questions. So pencils down for now. Everyone should be looking at me. Okay, thank you. So on some of them, when you get to the part that's asking which quadrant is it on, some of them are going to be on a line, right? So remember, it says which axis. When we went over that, when we said which axis, that means which line. So for example, the one that says 1, 0, is that gonna be on your X line or your Y?
X.
Your X, so you're just gonna write the X axis. Does that make more sense? So some of them is not gonna be in a quadrant. Yes,
I want these.
so I want you to try those lines. Let's try them. So state the coordinates. Set the Y axis. Okay. So which one will intersect the Y?
10. 0, 10.
These are all right. So just go ahead and keep going.
This one is like.
Actually, I need to cross this one out. Don't worry about it. You guys can go ahead and cross out number 10. I meant to cross that off for you. Yes, ma'am. Cross out number 10. So this is quadrants. Remember, quadrants. Okay, so this is which quadrant are they in? So if you were to find this line, -2 on 1, would it be in quadrant 1, 2, 3, or 4? Does that make more sense? Perfect. Yes, sir. Okay, let's see.
Okay, so if your coordinates are in points of a line, so if it intersects the y-axis, which one will intersect your y? Like be on your y? You can just pick any coordinate. It's just asking for a coordinate that will be directly on the y-axis.
So I put Y.
So when you plotted it, which line was it on?
This,
Okay, and is that your X or is that your Y?
X.
How many minutes does that say?
49.
Okay, yes.
I just need to.
So, which one, and when you are done, go ahead and keep it on your desk for now. Next, which one, pick a point that will intersect your y-axis, or put it on your y-axis. That's all it is. Yes. There's something on the back of your shirt.
Oh, this is like that.
You can go by the trash, it's like grasses. There you go.
Just say it.
All right, guys, so go ahead and put pencils down and start looking at me. 3, 2, and 1. Thank you. So if you have a computer already, just go ahead and close that computer. I know you just got it. Keep it on your desk, because if you finish early, you'll still do extra math. Okay, so if you did not finish this 1 through 8, that will be homework. Most of you are either done or almost there, so don't worry about that. 1 through 8, okay? So, the next thing that we're gonna do the exit ticket for this. And it's just gonna be to see what you know individually after the lesson, okay? So when you get it, the first thing you're gonna do is put your name. You're not gonna start yet until I tell you to start. We're not gonna put our names on it. There we go, go ahead and put your name. All right, if you are at table 2, please grab your computers as well, keep them closed. Grab your computers. Table 1, go ahead and grab your computer. You're not starting yet, the only thing you're doing is putting your name. So this is all about quadrants. So if we put the dot negative 2, negative 1, which quadrant is that? There you go. If you are at table 3, and right now we're still on a voice level 0, especially for this. So if you are at table 3, quietly grab your computer. Keep your computers closed. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. So the first thing we're going to do is that exit ticket, which is what I just gave you. That's going to be individually. When you're done with your exit ticket, if you did not finish that worksheet, you can finish your homework. And when you are done with that, you can start on your extra math. Okay? If you manage to finish all of those things, you have the option to go ahead and go on full math. Okay? Questions about what we're doing?
No.
Okay, so this is gonna be an independent activity. So on your own, it should be dead silent, and we can do it well. By like 9:15, we will go ahead and go out and have a couple minutes of recess, okay? All right, so you may go ahead and get started. When you're done with your exit ticket, just flip it over and I'll come around and collect it, okay? Yes. Oh, but that's the person I'm gonna ask about that too, unless he's here. That's my new student, and he was with the school before, and he came back yesterday, but his stuff, he hasn't heard back this morning.
Okay, so he came back, he was re-registered yesterday. Usually it takes 24 to 48 hours for everything to sync. So he tried it this morning. He can try it again, see if it's been enough time.
Okay. And if you have not grabbed your computer, because I forgot this in your table, please grab it as well. You can do it when you're done.
Just clever, he's trying to get clever.
The whole computer itself. Yeah.
Oh, but never mind, that shouldn't be a 48 or 24 hour issue.
I'll come get in this. Let me grab this. Zamir, do you have your computer? No? I was thinking too, maybe stuff like leave them, password.
Well, he came from another Mesa school, or, like, he was putting
Because I gave him the new one, I think, like, old one.
Yes. Go grab one of the ones still.
or should be this.